sleeping by the telephone.
Good morning. I told Warwick, well, since I'm doing a demo of Nick West's board, I said, hey, she's playing the LWA-1000, which is a tiny little lightweight amp. Why don't you send that to me, and then I can test it with the amp that she plays, you know, use some kind of speaker. And I'll send it back a week later once I'm done with the test. That was what I said. And then they said, what speaker do you want to test it with? I said, well, that doesn't really make sense, because speakers are really heavy and then you send them here and then they have to go back. Yeah. So what Warwick did, so that I can test the Nick West pedal board correctly, is send a few things. Yeah. Yeah. So what I wanted was this box. Tiny little, really cool, lightweight, dual channel amp. What I got was this, which got delivered. Wait for it. Wait for it. Are you waiting for it? By this guy. So yeah, we're gonna have some unboxing to do here, huh? Yeah, that really wrecks my schedule for today. But apparently we're going to test the Nick West board once they're coming back from painting with a little bit of a bass stack. Holy shit! And they said I should just leave it here in case I have to, you know, demo something with the bass. I have a good setup. I think I'm gonna have a good setup. On to unpacking this.
Okay, these aren't the heaviest speakers on the planet, but carrying 4 of them up into the studio, up and then down, whoa. Okay, so here we are, right. Oh, elixir of life. So here we are, back in the studio. I have my trusty unboxing knife. And for some reason, you're watching me unbox a lot of speakers and, you know, the LWA-1000. And that can be, everything is going bing. I'm going to turn the computer at least off, so we don't hear the computer going bing. Everything else will go bing. This is my life now. Bing, 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 bing. Or can you answer this? Hey, how about the PXL doing this? Hey, what about the gain knob on this thing? So I don't get to do nothing other than that, which is pretty cool life. So, hopefully this works in my pants. I have a recorder in my pants. We're gonna see which recorder records what. But let's stop this! Oh! So, we have in, you know, above, whatever that's called, above camera, thanks to the amazing people at Triad Orbit, who have these really, really cool pluggy things everywhere around the studio. I could plug in a camera wherever I want. Can plug in one there, up here, up there, up there, up there, there. I can just go click, done. So that's way cool. So we're gonna start with, excuse me. We're gonna start with the LWA-1000, which looks like it has been out of the box already, which isn't a big thing because, hey, we want to use it. We don't care if it has been out of the box already. What do we have here? We have a, that looks like a speaker cable of good thickness with an Allen wrench, not Allen wrench, a Imbusschlüssel, whatever that's called in English. Don't know what that is for, we will find out. And then we have a European power cable. Not that I, you know, need those, I have a billion. So this is for your eggs, you put your eggs in here, Warwick eggs. It's tiny! is what I hear all the time. Ah, no, that's not a speaker cable. That's a... I am sorry, people, not a speaker cable. That's a cable... What an instrument? Amplifier. Channel selector. Channel 1, 2. Instrument, amplifier. So I'm guessing you put your bass in here and it goes out to the amp, but the input of the amp is a channel selector at the same time. If this is true, because this says, let me show you. This little tiny, really heavy duty, instrument amplifier. It says on the back, only to be used with the LWA-1000. This unit routes the signal, the input signal, to the tip or the ring of the TRS output cable. Plug-in standard cable from the supply tip ring sleeve cable should be connected from the output jack of this unit to use any input. So you don't need a bass cable to your amp and a switcher cable to your amp. You simply plug in your bass here, run this to the amp, and then it can be switched so you have... This is pretty freaking awesome. Of course, granted, if you want a super high-end cable, you're going to have to probably swap out the supplied cable from Warwick and use your own stereo tip ring sleeve cable to carry the bass signal as high quality as possible. That is pretty freaking cool. Which also means there might be a way of using the ES8 for Nick to switch channels. Not that she needs to switch channels, but maybe. We're gonna find out how to possibly do this. We might actually not have to do this. I don't know. But this is a very unique and cool way of doing things. More egg carton thingies. So what we have here, that is obviously the tip ring sleeve cable, which I didn't see. Yes, that is a... It's not. It is not a tip ring sleeve cable. It's not a stereo. And there's another tiny little Allen wrench, not Allen wrench, Imbusschlüssel in here. I don't know what that is for. So... This looks like wood on the sides. Is this actual wood? I mean, with Warwick, I would think that it would be wood. But given how much wood is, I would think that it wouldn't be wood. It would be plastic. I would have to cut into this to see. Can I? Don't look. You see the grain? This is wood. This is real wood. That's bass amp porn, because the grain is totally different and it's beautiful wood. Let's look at the wood. Not my wood, this wood, you know. Hey, did you notice my ridiculous red pants? Yeah, Leslie picked those. Because I picked a neon pink sweater for her. We try to punish each other. Come on. See the beautiful swirly Auslöser grain in here? That's where the twigs are. Twig holes, I don't know what they're called. But here it's nice and wavy. Beautiful. And that's just cool. This is all stanzt out, ausgestanzt. This is all laser cut out, and it glows beautiful blue. This feels very nice. I mean, they just, I haven't read a review of this. I'm sorry, just looking at the compressor. That's what Billy Sheehan did. Looked at the amp, all good. Crank! And then you've got the Billy Sheehan sound. And of course, you also need its fingers. I haven't read a review of this, but I read the review of the smaller version of this, the LWA-500, which is really tiny and super lightweight. This isn't heavy at all. And they said, holy crap, that's a good amp. So, and we've played with this while we were at Ampeg. At Ampeg? What the fuck is in my head? Why did I just say Ampeg? Is bass amp so synonymous with Ampeg? I had one here, big ass tube Ampeg. It's gone now because I didn't use it. This I can actually use. I'm sorry for saying Ampeg. Oh, a switch. Power switch in the back. We played with this while we were guests at Warwick at the base camp. Fuck! And it just always, no matter what you did, plug in and it was nice. Let's look at the back. We got a tuner out, that's pretty standard. Effect send and return, that looks like it's serial. A line out, that's pretty standard. A DI out, that's pretty standard. You can switch those pre or post EQ, I would assume. And you've got a speaker out, and apparently it's got 1,000 digital watts. What is pretty cool is it's got an aux in, and with a tweeter in the speaker, you can actually just use this as your stereo. Pumping! We should actually try this. So plug in your iPhone or anything and just wail away and, you know, jam along with the track, and a tiny little headphone out. Very simple to do, you know, straightforward, simple idea, and kind of should be included in any amp nowadays, because for practicing that's nice. I wonder if you can use both channels at the same time. We're gonna find out, because then for when I have bass students, and I've got one right now, no time to teach because I gotta do this stuff for you guys. Send money now. It would be really nice to use both of them at the same time for teaching purposes. So this is pretty damn cool. Looks like nothing. Okay, and we're back over here. Woo! What do we have? The 112. Funny enough, I don't know why, but the 112, when I carried it up, was the heaviest of all of them. Heavier than the 115, heavier than the 4.8. So I wonder why that is. I like the idea of 4.8, or actually 2.8 in addition to the 115. I have this Phil Jones amp, little combo, which doesn't really hold up when it comes to a band. Paul Krommelbein's always like, no, you stupid Phil Jones, it's a €1,000 amp, and he's like, no, because he digs into the strings and he blows up that little thing. It's not meant for playing in a rock band, okay, Paul? He's gonna be happy to be able to play these if we rehearse here. But that Phil Jones has 5-inch speakers. It's not the size of the speaker. It's the overall surface, and with 4 of them, you know, you have 4 times blah blah. I don't know, but a 4.8 sounds pretty interesting, or maybe a 2.8 on top of the 115. This is like a Russian nesting doll kind of a system. Okay, we open the box, but only to find another box in here. Maybe that's why it's so heavy, because it's box in box in box. So, fuck, I just lost my knife. So we have a speaker cable. So you don't need a speak-on. Of course, I do have a speak-on cable. I have one. No, you don't need a speak-on. You can use a normal speaker cable. But I recommend using speak-on because it's cool. Owner's manual. For a cabinet, I'm thinking plug in and play. Now, why not have plasticky styrofoam things? Because Warwick is a very nature and recycling conscious company, and they don't use that kind of stuff. They actually generate all their own power. So this is another indicator. This is fully recyclable because it's, you know, paper. It's another indicator that they really care. one more, maybe not, you know, every single person in there, but in general. Ooh, fuzzy. I like fuzzy speakers. How do I get this out of here? I'm gonna undress it in a totally sexual way. Ooh yeah, baby. Ooh yeah, come on. Ooh yeah, take it off. This is literally like taking someone's pants off. My knife. Quick. Oh. I just looked at a review of 112 cabs in a magazine, a Guitar and Bass, and they said out of all the 112s, which is the rage right now, this Warwick was the biggest one, and I can clearly see that it is bigger than most 112s. But it has bass reflex, something is clearly has bass reflex here, and you can get this. And it was also it was also one of the most inexpensive ones, so that's what they pointed out. Not this one, because this is powered by Celestion. Powered by Celestion. So you can get this in a cheaper version with the Warwick speaker, and you can get this with the Celestion speaker. Not saying that the Warwick is any worse. Celestion is simply a name brand, and I would highly assume that the Warwick speaker isn't really, you know, that much worse or not. It's just, this is a name brand, name recognition. They have to buy this instead of manufacturing it themselves, so therefore these are more expensive. Would be interesting to actually test them side by side and see how big of a difference there is. Or is the difference only in our heads? Because, you know, we see a brand and we go, oh, there's got to be better. The question is, do I take this off? Because just says Celestion. I will mention it every time, and that kind of looks as if it's still in the store. So I'm going to take this off and keep it in the box. Because this is much more nicer. And also, I have to take it off, because right here is where the horn is. It would be very, very stupid to put the sticker right in front of the horn. So that needs to come off. Oh. So we have the big box. That's obviously the 115. I kind of think that most working bass players nowadays don't play 15. I know that Paul has two 112 cabs. And I think for the people that have to carry their own stuff, that is probably where it's at. But if you want to fork over the money, I mean, it's not more. I don't know how much it is. 500 something maybe. And again, speaker cable, rock cable. Ooh, look at those. Woo, 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 woo. Look at those big ass plugs. That just means halfway quality. I mean, big ass plugs means big ass something. So that's cool. I can trust those. And another manual. A manual cant. It's still not funny, I know. So, again, this is the Celestion version. Same goes for the 15. It comes with the Warwick speaker or the Celestion. You're gonna have to fork over more money for the Celestion. Oh. Same thing, we're gonna undress it. big rubber feet at the bottom, bass reflex or bass Bassreflex, that's what we say in German. Actually, it doesn't feel bigger than the 112. So, what's behind the Celestion sticker? There's a horn, so we definitely want the Celestion sticker off. So we got a horn in both of them. Just put them on top of each other and see the difference in size. There almost is none. They are the same size. But as you can see, maybe you can see this in this camera. If I had my measuring tool here, of course I don't. I think it's back here. So let's see, I'll give you the full overview. The height is 55 centimeters. The width is 52.5 centimeters. So the depth of the 112 is 40 and the depth of the 115 is 50. So this is, it has more because it's 50 deep. And it doesn't really matter how deep or how whatever something is, as long as it looks fucking cool, because that's what we care about on stage. So, boing! A setup like this is still movable compared to an, now I can say it, Ampeg 810. The amp obviously is with one hand, much easier movable than an Ampeg 500, 400 watt, whatever tube amp. Is it gonna sound like that? It's got its own sound, okay? But that's a nice setup that's gonna fucking blow you away. So, what do we have here now? I like pedals, because they don't weigh this much. Obviously not saying that these are incredibly heavy speakers, but come on, compared to a pedal, this is definitely a lot more. Compared to a guitar speaker, they're actually pretty light, I gotta admit. Guitar speakers can kill you. And again, the same rock cable. In the 112 they had a different cable. They might have changed this now, who knows, but this is again the cable with the big ass plugs on it. And don't do this with your girlfriend, don't put it on her head. That would clearly be wrong. Where am I going to keep all these boxes? I mean, if I ever want to, you know, ship these back or something, then I'm going to have to put them back in the boxes. That means I don't want to destroy the boxes, because how do you ship something like this? So, I'm going to... My attic is full, so I'm thinking my mom's attic will have a lot of Warwick cab boxes happening. So we're gonna put this over here. So this is cool, I'm very interested in this. Tweeter is in the middle, or in German, das Hochtonhorn. Tweeter is easier, right? Das Hochtonhorn. Tweeter is in the middle. Take this off. Again, this is a Celestion powered one. They have this with Warwick speakers. Neat in terms of dimensions. Did you guys see where I put my over here? I'm thinking that the general chassis is the same again. 52.5, 55 we're gonna say, 55. Yep, so this is exactly the same thing again. We had 40 and 50. Here we have 40 again. So this is identical to the 112. Let's have some fun here. Identical to the 112. Let's look in the back, but only I look in the back. High frequency volume switch. 4 positions. You can turn it off if you wanted to. And then there's, of course, 2 inputs. I'm thinking that one of them must be through. Before we plug anything in, maybe we should check this out. Oh. Come on, how cool is this? How you doing? Hello. Congratulations. Well, of course. Ah, this is the same manual for all of them. Modular approach, that's cool. You can use any combination of them, blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, they make an 810 just by, you know, 2 4s. That's what I would do. Dual purpose 1/4-inch jack and lockable speaker connector, LSC. No, it's not what it's called. Speak on. Apparently that's what it's called. Here. Doesn't say. So not knowing, I would assume that I can chain these together. You've got to be able to, since the LWA-1000 only has 1 output. Okay, last one. And again, the simpler speaker cable. Simpler just meaning it doesn't have the oversized monster plugs. No idea what the system there is. Yeah, come on. Oh. Obviously the lightest one of the bunch, because it is a 2.8, my kind of speaker. So obviously you can go 2.8 and 115, 2.8 and 112, 2.8 and 4.8, giving you 6.8. Yeah, I know, that's math. That's what they mean with modular approach. They all nicely fit together. Hello. We take this off, because that's no, the horn is in the middle. Again, I will always point out when I use these that these are the selection loaded ones. When it comes to modular approach, what you should probably... this only has one grabby thing. Oh, these are metal. This is very nice. Feels very, very sturdy. But nothing on the other side, because what? You don't need this. Oh. So here, this is of course a realistic setup to have. Oh, where's my measuring thingy? Here. I'll give you the dimensions for this one as well. The depth is again 40. The height in this case is 37 without feet, and the width is again 52. Whoa. Hey, should we plug this in? You can't even see. You can't even see the amp. I can't go far. Yes, here we go. Now we're talking. Oh, come on, this is funny. Can you see me? I need to step on something. I'm gonna steal my chair. The problem with a bass setup like this in tests, Paul said yesterday, here I've got the Aguilar and I've got the Eden or whatever, and let's come over and we'll do a shootout and, you know, check them out against each other. That will be really interesting, and see how the Warwick holds up, which is a really cool idea, and I think we should do this. And Warwick is not in any way afraid of the competition, as you can see when you're at their base camp, because they have all the competition there and everyone can play anything. But the problem with that is, if this thing blows me away now, how am I going to record this for you? Because very likely you're going to sit on the toilet with your iPad listening to this. So you're going to say, oh, it sounds kind of thin. How are you going to get an adequate, you know, response? How are you going to feel what this thing sounds like? So there really is no way to do it. We can record the amp DI, we can record all 3 amps or whatever amps he has DI and check it out. But quality of speakers, especially with the guitar speaker, it's a frequency kind of thing. It's a, you know, how many mids and all this. But with the bass speaker, it's a feeling. How much impulse does it have? How quick is it? It's a very different beast. So how do you capture that in a video? The only way we can do it, and I think that's what we will do, is stand here, check them out, let you listen, but then give you our feeling and our opinion, and hopefully that's enough. I have to get power up there. Oh my god, this is actually... Well, obviously I'm getting the high end from this right now, from the 4.8. If I could play bass, it would be a good idea. My rooms are filling up with stuff. So now I'm gonna have to, you know, get all this stuff out of here. See you guys, and thanks to Warwick for lending this to us. It's going to be invaluable to test Nick's rig. I'm gonna have to ask her which speakers she actually plays so we have the exact same thing. Bye bye.